Rev up your engines!
Well, Tesla's recalling 24,000 more vehicles, and this time they can't fix it with a software update. Turns out they didn't make the seat belts right. I'm telling you, it's a company that originated. It had nothing to do with Elon. It's a guy who had a company. They wanted to make a few luxury electric cars, and then he bought it. They can't even make seat belts right. Well, let's face it. It wasn't a car company that's gone through ages and ages of perfections and building stuff. Let's take this limited run of luxury electric cars and make a whole bunch of them, try to sell them to everybody. Everybody that's got a lot of money, obviously. The seat belts aren't even made right in these things, and they got to recall 24,000 of them. And they can't do that with this magic computer. Over-the-air updates doesn't fix a broken seat belt. Just like what people are going to find. As these things age and really start breaking down, they're going to have one heck of a time finding people that can fix these things, because he limits the information. He won't share it with anybody how to fix it, and there's a limited amount of Tesla dealers. It's got a giant rat's nest that's building up and building up, and then when they do get older and they need serious repairs, they're not going to be anybody that knows how to fix them. In too many areas, they're going to charge you whatever they want at their certified repair shops. You know what that is. Go to a place that calls itself a certified repair, certified to rip you off. If they're the only people that can work on your car, hey, they got you by the short and curlies. They can charge you whatever they want, take as much time as they possibly want, because you don't have a competitive place to take it to. That's why everybody should support this right to repair bill, which, if you watched the video I did the other day in Massachusetts, the companies are now dragging their feet saying, we can't comply because it's illegal. And they call these technicalities that they come up with because they don't want to give the information out to have competitors fixing the cars. They want only their dealerships to fix the cars so they can rake in more money. And that's how they rake in a lot of money these days. Used to be they made good money selling cars. Now everybody knows the profit margin. They don't make as much selling cars, at least before the coronavirus. Now they just mark them up. But it'll come back to reality where they won't be making that much money selling the cars. They've always made a lot of money fixing them. So they want to make it so they're the only people that can fix them. Well, it's not a good idea. These right to repair bills, if they have in your area, vote for them. You don't want these people keeping all the information for themselves. And then when you get, say, an old electric car and it breaks and you find out it's going to cost you 25 grand to replace the battery, you'd wish that other people could do it besides these dealerships. Ahmad says, I'm thinking about doing an initial coolant flush at 11,000 miles or 3 years. I got a 2019 Mustang with 11,500 miles. The factory says the change is 6 years, 100,000. I want to replace it sooner. Well, you can do whatever you want, but you're throwing your money away there. All the new coolants last a long time. And 6 years, 100,000 miles, you got 3 years, 11,500 miles of car. You're wasting your money. It doesn't need to be changed. They're different than the old coolants. You want a funny story? Originally, when they came out with antifreeze, they called it permanent antifreeze because they used to mix alcohol with water so it wouldn't freeze. But then when it got warmer outside, the alcohol would boil off and then the water would freeze and the engine cracked. That was in my grandfather's day, right? But then still in my grandfather's day, they said, now we have permanent antifreeze. You put it in the car and leave it. Great. We don't have to worry about keep measuring it as the alcohol boils off because this stuff doesn't boil off. The boiling temperature of modern coolants is higher than water, so it's not going to boil off. After so many years, it would corrode and eat everything up. So millions of cars were destroyed because it's permanent coolant. You leave it in forever, and then it would rust and rot out stuff. It's permanent in the sense that you don't have to add to it while you're driving. It won't evaporate, but it does go bad. But this new stuff, 6 years, 100,000 miles, is probably the earliest you do it on any modern car because they're better made coolants. And in this case, you don't need to do it. If you change your oil and your engine a little more often, that's a good thing, dirty oil, right? But the coolant really doesn't get dirty sitting in there that period of time. It's well made. I wouldn't waste my money doing it. Diana Carbuff 5 says, never buy a late model Kia Sportage. My coworker bought a 2020 Kia Sportage. She got it in February 2020. Last month, she took off the transmission jerk and that wouldn't even move. She took it to the dealer. They said, your transmission's shot. It had 44,000 miles. They had to replace the transmission. Even though it works now, she sold it immediately, got rid of it. I want you to share this with people. Well, here I am sharing with people, and this is not a one-off. They make junk. That's why I tell people, do not buy the Korean cars. Oh, great. She got it fixed free under warranty. It's the same transmission that went out. They're putting another one in. It's going to break too. Then it won't be in warranty anymore. Stay away from those cars. And all you people out there, you see problems, keep sharing them with me so I can share them with everybody else. You know, you see a 2-year-old car, 44,000 miles, the tranny already went out. You don't want to buy these things. And you never know, over time, things can change. Maybe in the future Toyota will make crap. Well, if they do, I'll tell you they make crap. They don't presently, but if they do, like the woman says, stay away from Kia Sportages. I would just say, stay away from Kias, period. Dapper J says, how can I bleed the air out of the radiator? I got a 2013 Cativa, and I replaced the radiator, and I want to get the air out. How can I do it? The easiest way to do it is, if you're a mechanic like me, we have vacuum systems and we hook them up and it sucks everything out, so it's a vacuum. Then we put a gallon of antifreeze and a tube with a valve, and then when we open the valve, the vacuum sucks the coolant and there's no air. Well, I doubt if you're going to buy a system like that. So what you do is, and this works quite well, back out of your driveway so that your front wheels are higher than the low, or if you got a jack up the front of the car. Then all the air will migrate up your radiator cap overflow. Whether your radiator itself has a cap on it or you got one of those overflow reservoirs, they work the same way. You get a fan, put it in front of the car, front end up higher, you have the air blowing so it's cool, you leave the pressure cap off, and then the air comes out, and then you just add coolant until it's full. And then there might always be a little bit of air here or there. Then drive it around, and then the next day, in the morning after it's cooled off, top it up. You might be a little bit of air, and then you can top it up. That's the easiest way to do it if you don't have a vacuum machine like I have. Cash Johnson says, I got a 91 Caprice Classic, and I'm having a problem with the underhood fuse box. Things are cutting off. I know it's old, but I want to fix the thing. What do you advise I do? Well, this may sound insane, but call up a dealer. There's actually a recall on that car, as old as it is, for the fuse box coming apart, and they got to replace it free because they'll always try to wheel their way out of it at the Chevy dealer. Hey, we don't fix anything free on a warranty, blah, 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 right? Go to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.gov website. Put in your VIN number, and you'll be able to find the recall. Print it out. Take a picture on your phone. Say, here's the recall, you got to fix it. And they will have to fix it free. They can't get out of recalls. The only way they can get out is if they had proof that that car had already been recalled and replaced, but in that case, the fuse box wouldn't be all corroded, so that wouldn't be the case. So you might be able to get yourself a free fix. You'd be surprised. Recalls are forever. You know, that's how they go. Punch and A says, my heat only blows hot on the passenger side. Got 2013 Ram 1500. The heat only blows out of the passenger side. The amount of air that comes out is equal, but it's only hot on the passenger side. What's going on? One of two things. One, you want to pray that it's just low on coolant. Radiator's low on coolant. Check it in the morning. You'll get air coming through the heater core, and there'll be some water, but mainly air. It won't have that much heat to give up, and it blows through the passenger side first, so they can get warm, but then the driver's side won't. Pray it's that. Simple fix. Add coolant, right? And see why it lost if there's a leak somewhere. The other one, which it often is, isn't so simple. Probably the blend door actuator on the driver's side is broken. Everything runs by computers on those stupid things. Chrysler is one of the first companies to make crazy computer-controlled heating and air conditioning systems. Hilariously enough, they invented this crazy electronic vacuum one, which Mercedes-Benz later copied and used. It goes way back. But it's inside your dash. It is a cow. You got to take your dash apart to fix the stupid thing. You don't want to take dash apart unless you have to. So if filling it up with coolant doesn't fix it, take it to a good mechanic like me. We have fancy scan tools that do bidirectional testing. We can command the blend door to open, and then the machine will show, did the blend door open or not, because it has all kinds of data that comes out of it. So you can command open, and then if you see it's command the open, but then the actuator shows that it didn't open, because the machine can read that too, you know it's broken and you need an actuator, which means you got to take the dash apart, which is a very expensive endeavor. Well, here's one I can't help but laugh at. There is a German coal mining company, and they are now demolishing the windmills, the wind farms for generating electricity so they can expand their coal mine. You can imagine the greenies are getting mad about that one. Germany, of course, wants to boost their energy supply, and they're saying, well, we know we're going to use this Russian oil and gas anymore. We can't be dependent on that. So instead, they're expanding the coal mines. And it just so happens that this one, on the edge of where the coal mine is, they got the wind farms going. There's 5 of them tumbling around there, and they're tearing them down so they can expand their mine. Now, here's the thing that a lot of people don't really understand. One of those windmills only supplies a few hundred houses. That's it for power. They don't power all that much, right? And there was only 5 of them there. But it's kind of a symbolic thing that the coal mine is dismantling these windmills so they can dig their coal mine further out, because it's an open pit coal mine. And they're replacing it with the bigger coal mine so they can get more coal, because they don't want to be dependent on the Russian energy. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.